Today we're looking at 3 of the best features on Instagram that I think quite often get overlooked. Now, if you're a handmade artisan and you're selling online or you're wanting to start selling online, you're in the right place. This is the Handmade Daily, and my name's Lena. I'm the very proud owner of madeit.com.au, where we have over 900 Australian artisans selling through the platform. So I am super passionate about handmade and business and really coming together as a community to grow together. Now, I love Instagram. It's probably, or arguably, I would say, the channel that I'm spending the most time on. I definitely love to consume content on YouTube. This is my learning space. But I think for Instagram, as far as like creating connections with potential customers, but also with other artisans, like that's really the space where I'm spending the most time. And when it comes to those 3 top features, I think there's a couple of little nuances in here that I want to share with you as well. So I think first and foremost, if we're talking about Instagram, it's about really understanding like the different aspects of Instagram and how your customers are actually utilizing Instagram as well. You know, there's a couple of basic fundamentals. Like the reality is that your stories will not go out to non-followers. They are purely there to go out to your followers already. So if you're doing things in stories and hoping that it's going to attract a new customer, it just simply won't happen there. You're going to need to use Reels for that ability to actually reach out to non-followers. But when we're talking about stories, I think it's a really missed opportunity to not be using stories to connect personally with your customers. A very good friend of mine shared this with me years ago, and this is when I was really just starting out on social media. And she was like, you know, basic rules for her is that you want to keep your grid really business professional so that when anyone comes to your page, they can see straight away who you are purely from your grid. That's your main pictures, right? And she said, and then in your stories, that's where you really want to share more about yourself personally. You know, it's where it might have a little bit with your animals in it, but it might also be your inspiration as a handmade artisan, or it might be kind of like inside your studio space. And if you really get clever with stories, right, it can be a great way that you can create true connection. And I think it happens on a much deeper level than, say, what you would do with posts. Now, to add on to that as well, one of the second areas that I think is probably underutilized is the highlight reels. And, you know, funny that they're called highlight reels when they're actually your highlight stories. So you've got your name and your profile sort of up the top, and then straight underneath, the circles that are there are your highlight reels. And there's a couple that I think that every single handmade artisan needs to have. First and foremost, about. Now, if you haven't actually taken the time to introduce yourself in the stories, now's the opportunity to do that, right? Go on over to Instagram and start sharing a little bit about who you are as an artisan. I guarantee you that if you're wanting customers to actually send you a direct message, the more that you can show up and really introduce yourself, like, hi, I'm Lena, this is me, this is what I do, the more that you're going to give customers the opportunity to actually feel like they can reach out to you. So we've got the about highlight reels, right? So any of those stories that are really about who you are, you're going to simply highlight and pop them into that about one. Now, the next one is your creations as an artisan, right? Actually, I'm going to say there's 3. But the next one is your creations. And this is where you'll be showcasing your creations, but not in a salesy way, you know, not using a Canva template where it like sits inside like frames and all that sort of aspect, right? It could actually be you filming a video that you're popping in stories, and it's you picking up your product, it's showing it to camera and really sharing the love and why your creations are so special. And then the third one I would say that you need to have is behind the scenes. And this is about your process as a handmade artisan. So just in those 3 highlight reels, right? Strangers can come to your page and literally come on and they can find out a bit more about you and your stories if you're using stories regularly, but they can also jump to the juicy bits and go about your products and your process, right? 3 very simple areas. Now, the next one that is still not being used enough, I would say, by handmade artisans is pinning your post to the top of your grid. So you know how you've got your grid underneath, and that's where all your posts are, right? You've got the ability with Instagram to pin to the top your 3 top posts. And when we're talking about what those posts should be, I think that one of them should always be a photo of you. It's almost like kind of repeating what you've got in the highlight reels, right? It's like about my products, my process, and that's going to be your 3 posts. Now, if you've got a post that has performed really well and, maybe it's a collaborative post or for whatever reason it's been highly performing, I'd probably think about having that as one of your pinned posts, right? Because it means that when people are coming to your page, that they can go, oh, I see who this person is, I can see what they're creating. But the other aspect of social media, which will grow as your social media channels grow, but is that as humans, we like to know that other people like the same thing. So if you've got a really well-performing post, that's definitely one that I would think about putting it at the top. But so those are my 3 top aspects of Instagram that I think that everyone should be using. Are they reinventing the wheel? No, but it really is about taking the time to make sure that those 3 areas sing, because that's essentially how everyone's going to be coming to view your information when they visit your page. So I hope you loved the video. If you did, make sure you subscribe so you can get the daily videos that come up Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time or Sydney time. But if we haven't already connected, I would love it if you pop a comment down below. Let's connect and really bring juice to this channel and make it so that we're all growing together. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you again for the Handmade Daily. Bye.